Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time, in my humble opinion, is a pretty funny one. I think you guys will like it. If you do, please leave a like on the video. I feel like the story time reminds me of like older videos I used to make, and you guys seem to like videos like this one. So yeah, leave a like on the video if you enjoy this, want to see more stuff like this, and let's jump right into today's story time. So today's story time is specifically about a teacher, okay? Now, this teacher, to give you a little bit of backstory, was just super mean. Like, he was one of the worst teachers in my school. All I remember of this guy was he was super rude to me for no reason, gave me bad grades. That was probably my fault. But he gave me bad grades, and he was mean to me. And, I didn't care. It wasn't the only mean teacher in my school. There was tons of teachers that were super rude and just impatient with me. But in most of my teachers' defense, I wasn't really the best student either. But this guy, even when I was being a good student, was rude as hell to me. So yeah, this teacher was the worst teacher in my entire school, in my opinion. And yeah, in this story time I'm about to tell you, he's the main character. Well, actually, I think I'm the main character, but he's like the co-main character, I think. I don't know how this works. I'm getting lost. So this story time all starts off as a normal day. I'm sitting in my room watching some TV. This takes place a year ago, so kind of recent. This was like right before the world went to shit, so I'm just sitting there, chilling by myself, watching TV. And one of my friends texts me. He's like, Austin, bro. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, you down to come over tonight? You down to smoke? And keep in mind, I don't really smoke anymore. I haven't smoked weed in a very long time. So I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really smoke anymore, but I'm down to hang out later if you want. He's like, bro, you got to smoke with us tonight. We have a special guest coming over. I'm not telling you who it is, but you got to smoke with him. Like, he wants you to smoke with him. And I was like, who is it? And he goes, I'm not telling you. I'm like, well, bro, you got to tell me. Like, if I know who it is, then maybe I'll want to do that. And he's like, nah. You got to just see it, bro. You got to see it to believe it. So he was really hyping this up. I was like, yo, who could this possibly be? So I asked him that. I'm like, yo, who could it possibly be? Like, I know you don't got Justin Bieber over there or some shit. Like, who is it? And he's like, dude, just come over here in like 2 hours. You'll see. You'll be dumbfounded, just like I was. He's here right now. Like, you're going to lose your fucking mind, bro. And I'm like, all right, man, calm down. I'll see you in a couple hours. He's like, all right, man, I'll text you when I come over. I'm like, okay. So I hang up and I start laughing to myself because of how ridiculous my friend was acting. And I'm like thinking to myself, yo, I bet no one's even over there. I bet he's just lying to me to try and get me to agree to smoke weed with him. Like, I bet that no one's over there right now besides him and a couple of our friends. So yeah, fast forward a couple hours, it was time to go to my friend's house. My friend texted me and told me to come over. So yeah, I got a ride over there. One of my other friends picked me up and brought me over. And the whole drive over to our friend's house, he was like, yo, wait till you see who's at this house right now. Like, you're not going to believe it. Like, just trust us. It's insane. And I'm like, yo, why do you guys keep saying this? Like, who could it possibly be? And he's just like, oh, you will never guess. So of course, naturally, I start guessing. I'm like, is it one of my friends from YouTube? And my friend's like, nah, man, it's not. And then I was like, okay, is it somebody famous? And he's like, nah. And then I'm like, okay, final guess. Is it someone we went to school with? And he goes, yeah, it is. And immediately, I'm just disappointed because the way they were hyping this up, I thought it was going to be someone really cool, somebody I'd be like super excited to see. But no, it was just some person from my school. So immediately, I'm disappointed and I just say nothing. And yeah, we get to my friend's house, we walk into his house, and we start going to the basement. And immediately, I get hit in the face with just the smell of skunk because they're all down there just hotboxing the basement. So me and my friend walk into the basement, and I see a circle of people. And a bunch of them are my friends, and then there's this one dude sitting in the middle of this circle like it was a ritual or something. Like, the way they were sitting looked like they were about to sacrifice him. And I look, and I'm just dumbfounded. I'm in shock at what I'm looking at. It is my fucking 40, 50-year-old maybe teacher sitting in the middle of this circle just ripping a bong, and everyone's cheering him on. And I'm like, yo, what did I just walk into? And then my friend jumps up on his feet and he runs over and he hugs me and starts dying laughing. He's like, bro, I told you on the phone earlier. I told you this shit is hilarious. I'm like, yo, what is this? And he goes, look. And I'm like, yeah, I know who it is. Why is he in your basement? Why are you guys circling him like it's a ritual? And my friend's just like, yo, we're just watching him. That's all. So I sit down in this circle. I sit down where my friend was sitting. And my teacher looks at me and goes, what's up, Austin? And I go, what's up? And I say Mr. and then his last name. I call him by his teacher name. And he goes, oh, no, don't call me that. You're not in school anymore. Call me Eric. And I was like, okay, Eric. What's up, man? And he goes, what's up? And he just passes this bong to me. Now, like I said earlier in the story, I don't really smoke anymore. It kind of just makes me anxious. So I look over at my teacher, and then I look at all my friends, and they're all just staring at me with anticipation. And I look back at my teacher. my former teacher that is, and he goes, "Come on, hit it, pussy." And I'm like, what? Am I getting peer pressured by my former teacher right now? And he goes, "You're damn right you are. Hit that shit." And yeah, I did it. Because the last thing I was about to do was let my former, just mean high school teacher make me look like a big baby. So yeah, I gave in and I hit the bong. Now, I wouldn't recommend giving in to peer pressure, but this wasn't even really peer pressure. This was like a challenge from him, and I wasn't letting him win. He embarrassed me in school so many times by yelling at me in front of everybody. It was time that I showed him up. So yeah, I hit it, took a huge hit, way bigger than he could, and he starts hysterically laughing. He's like, "Dude, you're the man. I missed you guys." And then I get to thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. Why the fuck is this guy here right now? How is he here? Like, who invited him? Why did he show up? Why is he doing this with us? Like, why is he here? So, of course, I just ask it. I'm like, "Yo, why are you here?" And my friend butts in. He's like, "Oh, I invited him, Austin." I was like, "Yeah, but like, how did this happen? Like, why did he accept your invite? Why is he here? Why is he smoking out of your bong? Like, what's going on? Like, am I dreaming? Like, is this a fever dream?" And my teacher, Mr. Eric, butts in and he goes, "No, you're not dreaming, Austin. I'm just here to hang out with my nephew's friends." And I was like, "Wait a minute, who's your nephew?" And he points to one of my friends who's in the room. And I'm like, "Wait a minute, this is your uncle?" And my friend's like, "Yeah, it's my uncle." I'm like, "Dude, we used to shit talk him in school all the time. Like, we'd meet up in the hallways after his class and you'd call him the biggest dickhead in school. Why didn't you tell me you guys were related?" And my friend's like, "Oh, well, I didn't know we were related until like 2 years later." And then Eric, Mr. Former Teacher, chimes in and goes, "Hey, I'm not the biggest dickhead in school." And I was like, "Sorry, Eric, didn't mean to say that." And he goes, "It's okay, I was a dickhead back then, but I'm not anymore. I've changed." And I'm thinking to myself, like, "Yeah, you've definitely changed, man. You've changed all right." So I just kind of smile and laugh, and I'm like, "Yeah, like, definitely." And he goes, "Yeah, so anyway, what do you guys want to do tonight?" And I was like, "I'm going to go home now." And I get up, and I just kind of walk upstairs, go into the kitchen, sit down for a second, call an Uber, get a ride home. And that was the end of that. I was not about to spend another minute in that fever dream of a situation. I don't care. To this day, I still don't think it's real. I think that I was like hovering through another reality or something. But sadly, it was real, because right when I got home, my friend FaceTimed me. He's like, "Yo, man, like, you all good? You seemed angry when you left." I was like, "Nah, man, I wasn't angry. I was just like dumbfounded and just kind of burnt out from the giant hit that I took." And he's like, "Yeah, man, all good." So yeah, after that, I hung up the phone. I just kind of laid down and watched some Netflix. And the whole night, I was just like in shock at what just, went down. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of that story time. I haven't seen Eric, aka my old teacher, since. I don't know what it would be like if I ran into him in public nowadays. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I thought this story time was a crazy one. I hope you guys did as well. If you enjoyed this story time, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace. Like, what's up? They leave me out for the dead, and now they know their fault. All my texts